Welcome. This is a video overview of my EDCI project in which you will be navigated through the Weebly page that I've set up for my students. This is for grades 3, 4, 5. They come to elementary computer class 1 or 2 times a week. This unit is set up as a progression in which they will take a lesson through all the steps as far as they can get and hopefully finish the project in a 9-week period. Home button is where we're at, and this just welcomes students to the page. The second is your page, which is set up with the survey. I've also put in a sample of the flock draw, which I won't show students because I don't want that to guide or hint them in any way. The background information gives the progression of the lesson. Students will be able to read through and see where they're at, whether it's day 1, day 2, to figure out what step is next. Students will start at this tab, Ride a Roller Coaster, and this is set up so that they can ride virtual roller coasters from Cedar Point website. Their goal here is to look at the design of the track and notice different points of a design, whether it be loops, twists, hills. Students can choose 4 or 5 roller coasters to virtually ride, which they will enjoy. But hopefully seeing the different designs and layouts will help them on their project. The rubric is set up just to give them a grading of what I'll be looking at for the different aspects of the project. On the build, they will be directed to a site which is how to build a roller coaster. This goes into some different scientific vocabulary, which I'm not sure they will have exposure to in grades 3, but I do know that grades 4 and 5 talk about potential and kinetic energy and mass. The tutorial goes through and explains the design of a roller coaster. She talks about how the influence of the number of cars affects the mass and speed, velocity. The tutorial also goes through how to use the program, the interface of the screens, and how to launch their roller coaster. Students will then use Flock Draw, which is a basic paint program in which they can sketch out their design of their roller coaster. They'll come up with a layout that they think would be successful, whether it would be hills, loops, twists, etc. From that, they will print that and be prepared for the next step, which is building. Back to the Brain Pop site where they build, students will attempt to have a successful roller coaster in as few attempts as possible based on what they had learned from the tutorial. On the track design, they have nodes which students can set their design how they want. They can build the loops based on what they listened and learned from the video. Hopefully they'll realize they can't have a loop that is higher than the first hill, and that's why the goal for the rubric is to have success within minimal temps as possible. Once they build it and design, they'll launch it to see if it is a successful design. If not, I'm hoping they go back and tweak their design based on their failure, I guess you could say, of their roller coaster ride from before. Which is the goal then, to tweak it within 5 attempts or less to have success. After their success of the roller coaster, next is to research and graph. They're going to use search engines that we have learned and Boolean searches on how to find facts and information on 5 roller coasters from the world. They're going to enter their data into either a ChartGo or create a graph program, or they can watch the tutorial video on how to use Microsoft Excel. Students in grades 4 and 5 have experience in Excel, so they know how to enter data into spreadsheets. From that, they will use the chart wizard to create a graph, which would be printed and turned in for a grade according to the rubric. Students will complete a survey at the end using SurveyMonkey. I hope to get feedback from this to see how students felt about the project, about the layout, navigation throughout the screens, if systems worked, whether it be sound, video, what they'd like different about it, comments, and then grade themselves on how they did with the drawing program, the graph, and then just some feedback on what they enjoyed from it. The standards is the last page, and I've listed the NTS, T, and S standards that are met. Also the embedded Common Core standards in grades 3, 4, and 5 that are relevant in the project. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Please give feedback, and I appreciate your taking the time on this. Thank you.